Brooklyn has always been known for its energy, a living, breathing borough that never truly sleeps. But on one street, Myrtle Avenue, time seemed to move slower. Neighbors knew each other, doors stayed unlocked, and everyone believed they lived in one of New York's last peaceful corners, until the night Axel disappeared. But what really happened that night? Was it a kidnapping, a crime of passion, or something far more disturbing? Security cameras captured only 10 seconds before cutting to black. 10 seconds that changed everything. Neighbors tell conflicting stories. Some say they heard a van screech to a stop. Others swear they saw Axel walking alone, with someone following close behind. But who was that person? And why did their face never appear on camera? Authorities claim there's no sign of foul play. But why was Axel's room untouched, except for a message on the mirror that read, "You know who I am"? Who wrote it? And what secret did Axel know that he shouldn't have? The morning after Axel's disappearance, police arrived at his small third-floor apartment in an old red brick building. Everything seemed untouched. The lights were still on, coffee sat cold in the pot, and his phone lay on the table, as if he had only stepped out for a moment. But there was one thing no one could explain: the door was locked from the inside. How could he have left? And even stranger, why did Axel's footprints in the hallway stop right in front of the elevator, with no prints leading back? Detective Ethan Morales noticed that the clock on the wall read 2:17 a.m., the exact time the security footage had cut off. Coincidence? Or a deliberate message? Neighbors were questioned. The woman from the fourth floor said she heard hurried footsteps, then a metallic clang, like something falling into the elevator shaft. But when police checked, there was nothing there. Nothing, except a broken necklace, wedged between the grates. The question lingered. Did that necklace belong to Axel, or to whoever took him? 2 days after the disappearance, a young man named Liam Carter, who lived in the same building, approached Detective Morales. Nervous, he said he had something to share, but only if the officer promised to keep his name off the record. "They're still around," he whispered, glancing over his shoulder. Liam revealed that on the night Axel vanished, he saw Axel arguing with someone on the corner of Myrtle Avenue. He couldn't see the other person's face, but remembered a black jacket with a snake emblem on the back. Morales instantly connected that to the necklace found earlier, a pendant shaped like a serpent. But why would Axel be arguing so late at night? And who owned that jacket? Hours later, Morales reviewed street footage. A traffic camera captured a blurry image of a dark van pulling up near Axel's building at 2:12 a.m., 5 minutes before the footage cut off. Coincidence or not, the license plate was covered with tape. The question now was unavoidable. Who was inside that van, and what did they do to Axel? Detective Morales decided to dig into Axel's past. He discovered that Axel had moved to Brooklyn just 8 months earlier, coming from Chicago. There he worked as an IT technician at a company that, curiously, had been under federal investigation for leaking classified data. Axel was never charged, but he quit the job just days before the police raid. Coincidence? Or was he running from something or someone? Meanwhile, the police examined his computer, which had been recently wiped clean, erasing almost everything. Only one folder remained, titled "Don't Trust Them." Inside, a single 14-second video showed Axel staring directly into the camera, saying, "If anything happens to me, look for the serpent symbol." His voice trembled, his eyes filled with fear. Morales paused the video repeatedly, trying to catch what Axel was seeing behind the camera. A faint shadow seemed to move. But no one else was supposed to be in the apartment that night, right? Who were they? And why did Axel leave such a desperate warning? Detective Morales took the necklace found in the elevator shaft for analysis. The serpent-shaped pendant stood out for its details, silver, with a small number engraved on the back, 47B. Upon investigation, he discovered the symbol matched a secret group mentioned in old FBI reports known as the Serpent Circle, an organization tied to blackmail, data manipulation, and the disappearance of witnesses. But what did Axel have to do with them? That same night, Morales received an email with no sender. The subject line read only, "Stop looking, or you'll be next." The body contained a single photo. The detective sleeping in his own home, taken from inside his bedroom. Who could have access to him like that? And how did they know he was investigating Axel's case? From that moment, Morales realized this wasn't just an investigation. It was a hunt, and he might have been watched from the very beginning. While reviewing Axel's video again, he noticed a faint reflection in the window, the same serpent symbol glowing blue. There was no longer any doubt. Axel knew too much. In the following days, Morales began to notice he was being followed. A black car, the same model seen in footage near Axel's building, seemed to appear at every corner he turned, sometimes parked, other times slowly driving by with tinted windows. He tried to dismiss it as paranoia, but the feeling was constant. Someone was always watching. Determined to trace the threatening email, he followed the lead to an old abandoned warehouse in Brooklyn's industrial zone. The IP address matched that location, but when he arrived, he found only burned equipment, destroyed security cameras, and fresh tire marks. On the floor, among the ashes, he found something half-melted. A police badge. The name? E. Morales. His own. How did it end up there? Were they trying to warn him or drive him insane? As he scanned the dark warehouse, a metallic sound echoed, slow footsteps from the upper floor. Morales raised his flashlight and, for a brief moment, swore he saw a figure standing in the shadows. But when he climbed the stairs, nothing. Only a phrase sprayed across the wall. "You're on the wrong path." What did it mean? And what if the real culprit wasn't who he thought? The next morning, Morales received an anonymous call. The voice on the other end was female, calm, steady. "If you want to find Axel, look for the woman in the picture." Before he could ask anything, the call disconnected. Intrigued, Morales returned to Axel's apartment and went over every inch again. That's when he noticed a photo frame turned face down on top of the fridge. Inside it, a picture of Axel hugging a blonde woman smiling in front of Brooklyn Bridge Park. On the back, a handwritten note read, "Forever together, L." Morales immediately thought of Liam Carter, the neighbor who had come forward earlier. But Liam was a man, not a woman, or was L not a name, but an initial? Checking phone records, Morales found several late-night calls from Axel to a prepaid number with no ID. The registered name was Lara Connors, missing for 3 months under eerily similar circumstances. 2 disappearances, same neighborhood, same serpent symbol. Were Axel and Lara tangled in the same secret? Before Morales could dig deeper, a text message lit up his phone. "Stop looking for Lara, she's already found you." But what did that mean? Following the new lead, Morales located Lara Connor's last known address, a small studio in Bushwick, just a few miles from where Axel lived. The place had been empty for weeks, yet there were signs of recent activity. Footprints, leftover food, and the strong scent of fresh paint. On the walls, dozens of newspaper clippings and photos linked crimes and disappearances across New York. At the center, one image stood out, the serpent symbol, surrounded by red strings connecting names, dates, and places. Among them, Axel Reed's name was circled 3 times with a note beside it, "Key witness or Project Serpentis." Project Serpentis? Morales had never heard of it. Rummaging through a drawer, he found a flash drive hidden inside a pillbox. When opened, its contents were chilling. Recordings of secret meetings between businessmen, politicians, and high-ranking officers, discussing digital identity erasure and elimination of witnesses. Could Axel and Lara have uncovered a clandestine government operation? As Morales examined the files, a message suddenly appeared on his screen. "No internet connection, no source. You were warned, detective." Moments later, the entire system froze, followed by the sound of footsteps in the hallway. Someone was there. Morales drew his gun and moved quietly down the dark hallway. Each step echoed like a warning. Turning the corner, he saw a silhouette standing by the window, a blonde woman, her face half lit by the streetlight. It was Lara Connors, alive. "You shouldn't have come here," she said. her voice steady but weary. Stunned, Morales asked, "Where is Axel?" Lara hesitated, took a deep breath, and replied, "He tried to expose Project Serpentis, but they found out first. And now, they want to erase everything, including us." She explained that the Serpent Circle was made up of agents embedded within the police itself, tasked with eliminating witnesses who threatened the system. Axel had gathered enough evidence to bring the network down, but vanished before he could deliver it. "They're watching everything, including you," Lara warned, handing him a sealed envelope. Inside was a photo of Axel, tied to a chair, with the serpent symbol drawn in blood on the wall behind him. Before Morales could react, the sound of engines roared outside. 3 black vans surrounded the building. Lara looked at him, panic in her eyes. "They found us." And then, the shooting began. "They almost erased me," Axel said, his voice weak. "But I managed to send a copy of the Project Serpentis evidence to a trusted journalist," he added, showing a crumpled flash drive. Lara explained that the Serpent Circle never expected Axel to have a backup. "They always underestimate those who know the system from the inside," she said. Morales looked around. The shooters had vanished. It was impossible to know whether they had fled or were regrouping for another attack. As they descended from the rooftop, Morales reflected on the questions that still lingered. Who else was involved? How many missing people were linked to this project? And most importantly, who could truly be trusted? The city returned to its routine, but for Morales, Lara, and Axel, nothing would ever be the same. In the heart of Brooklyn, a dark secret had been revealed, and for the first time, the hope for justice felt real. The shooting was quick, intense. Morales and Lara ran to the back of the building, searching for any escape. Amid shadows and debris, they found an emergency staircase leading to the rooftop. At the top, the Brooklyn skyline glowed against the night, a stark contrast to the tension surrounding them. There, hidden behind crates, they found Axel, bound, bruised, but alive. Seeing him, Morales felt a mix of relief and outrage.